Well, time to get underway with the first pre-final of CKR 100 European Grand Prix action for 2024. It's the Prix 89 pre-final, scheduled to take place over 10 minutes. So, after the opening two races of the weekend, Jan van Handel from the Netherlands will line up on pole position. Alongside him will be Germany's Thomas Franz in the number 67. Jürgen Schauber and Kjell Christiansen in the number 12 and the 107 will round out row number 2, ahead of Tommy Jespersen and Christian Helmer Pedersen. Michael Weinreich and Uffe Ring-Nielsen round out row 4 with Berthold Bermel and Heinz Gockel rounding out the top 10. Completing the 17-strong grid will be Thomas Kracht, Peter Lieros from Sweden, Olli Olsen, Guy Lagarde, Hans Hansen, Jean-Marc Malessieux and Torben Lausen. That is your 17-strong grid, and Van Handel really stealing the march in the opening heats. And then it was Thomas Franz that came firing back on all 100 cc's of cubic displacement on that engine to his immediate side on the chassis. So 10 minutes plus an additional lap for this pre-final for Prix 89. Then we'll go into the pre-final for Prix 95 and then 2000 and 2000 plus. After that, we'll then have our last show run of the day, and then we'll get underway with the grand finale, the grand crescendo, the finals a little bit later on. So, who is going to come into the final a little bit later on as the favourites? Well, we've got 10 minutes plus an additional lap to decide all of that here in the Saturday afternoon sunshine in the Danish summer here in Vojens. So, Van Handel and Franz on the front row. They will be controlling the pace as they make their way through the right-hander now into the chicane. So, here we go. Prix 89, pre-final all, and there's already been a tussle, one mounting the back of another as they get underway, as the timer starts counting down. So one of the drivers getting a bit caught out on the start as everyone makes their way through turns 1 and 2 for the opening time, into 3. And someone diving up the inside through turn 3. Thomas Franz has got the number 12 of Jürgen Schauber, not right all over his rear exhaust, but in the meantime, leader has slightly scarpered away as the number 95 of Guy Lagarde. But, well, the leader, whoever that person is, we're going to find out very, very shortly indeed. I think it might have a feeling it's going to be Jan van Handel from the Netherlands. And has got a big old gap because there's a quartet battling over second. So, through into the opening lap being completed. Your race leader is going to be Jaap van Handel. Second, Thomas Franz looking up the inside of Kjell Christiansen. And sideways as the German puts the, applies the brakes. The back end steps out to the left-hand side. It's a bit like a Stig Blomqvist karting manoeuvre into turn 1. As Jürgen Schauber gets through on the inside of Kjell Christiansen, who returns the favour on the exit of turn number 3. Very much the case that there's quite a few drivers. Oh, and there's a 3-second time penalty coming the way of Jaap van Handel. Oh, dearie, dearie me. That's not going to go down well. That's going to go down as well as a bunch of cold sick for the Dutch driver, who was leading off the opening lap by 1.7 seconds. But Thomas Franz has pulled away from those battling behind, which is Kjell Christiansen in 3rd place. Jürgen Schauber in 4th, and Tommy Jespersen rounding out the top 5. Well, someone's a little bit slow, has not got the full amount of straight line speed that they need going down into turns 1 and 2. So someone's lost a couple of positions on the fly down the start-finish straight. So that might be Kjeld Christiansen, because Tommy Jespersen has got past Jürgen Schauber. All the 3-second penalties seem to be coming out thick and fast. I think Kjeld Christiansen has just got one himself. So coming up to 7 minutes left on the timer. Well, Jan van Handel comfortably leading the way ahead of Thomas Frans. So a few of the other drivers towards the back end of the field, it is getting a bit spread out here or there. There's a nice little three-way exchange. That is for round about 6th position. That'll be Christian Helmer Pedersen, Jeffering Nielsen, and Michael Weinreich. Also Heinz Gockel. Gockel is probably going to be in there. There is going to be a change for position. As a little bit further up the road, there was the number 25 of Jeffering Nielsen, who's a bit further ahead of Michael Weinreich. But Ring Nielsen closing in, and Christian Helmer Pedersen in the... Well, it's not Christian Helmer Pedersen, that's actually the number 25. Yeah, that is Jeffering Nielsen. So it looks like there has been a couple of changes up and down the order. There is the 102, Thomas Kracht, from Germany. And he looks to be ahead of, I think, Berthold Bermel. Then you've got also Peter Liaros. So still some good scraps up and down the order here in Prix 89, as we are slowly but surely coming towards the end of what will be an interesting pre-final in its own right. Jean-Marc Malisieux and Torben Larsen out on the second lap of the race. There is one kart stranded on the inside of the grass off the penultimate hairpin on the circuit. But Thomas Frans closing in on Jan van Handel. There's 25 and 31. That's Jeffering Nielsen and Christian Helmer Pedersen. A bit further back, that is Hans Hansen and Thomas Kracht. They're battling away over the final position in the top 10. Oh, Hans Hansen got it all kind of Scandinavian flicked sideways through turn 4. Just literally hit the brakes, and the back end just went, yep, there we go. Step out to the right, why don't you? Going sideways isn't always the fastest way, but it's the most stylish way to get yourself round the corner. With 4 minutes and 30 to go, things are tightening up at the sharper end of the field, because Thomas Frans is closing in on Jan van Handel from the Netherlands for the race lead coming out of turn number 3. And Frans might have the opportunity to go for a move. Won't go around the outside at that particular corner, which can be a bit hairy. I think Joe Score is the only person that's managed to pull that move off all weekend long. Round the outside on the left-hander, the sweeping left-hander that you're pretty much taking quite heavy, quite high speeds, and get the job done. So we are about to complete lap number 6 of this Prix 89 pre-final, and Jan van Handel still holding nearly a half-second lead over Thomas Frans, with Jürgen Schauber rounding out the top 3. There's the number 30 of Tommy Jespersen. A little bit further back, we've got the battle between Heinz Gockel, who's got past Jeffering Nielsen, and that is for position on track. That is for 5th place. So we are slowly but surely ticking the seconds down on the timer. It's only going to be a matter of time before we see some dramas happening. Well, it is happening because Jürgen Schober has closed on in to those in front because of the fact that Thomas Fans is going to dive up the inside and clatters into Jan van Handel. Oh, dearie me, that was a late lunge, and Jan van Handel's cart is an absolute mess. Franz just dive-bombed up the inside, and that has just given Jürgen Schober the race lead and the advantage going into the final later on today. Oh, that was something I was not expecting. And Jan van Handel from the Netherlands, the right rear was absolutely harpooned by Thomas Franz. I'm not too sure how much damage the chassis of the number 67 from Germany has sustained, but it was quite a hefty whack. So now this means we have got Jürgen Schober plus, I think, is that Tommy Jespersen behind? Yes, it is. So, battle for the race lead between two different protagonists now shows its hand. Well, I know for a fact that there might be a little bit of post-race discussion, possibly, well, there will be a post-race discussion between Thomas Fans and also Jan van Handel. Real shame for the number 84 from the Netherlands. And, of course, yes, these things do happen. It is motorsport. It is dangerous. People do try and make robust moves through, but it looked, I mean, I'm not a race steward. I'm not a race director. But I think it may have just been the case that Thomas might have decided to go late on the brakes and it didn't really work out. But as they say, you learn from your mistakes in many respects. And Jürgen Schober ahead of Tommy Jespersen. Thomas Fans still running and is running third, but is quite a significant away from this battle here, to the tune of around 4.7 seconds. Then we've also got the battle between, well, that is the battle for the race lead, because Tommy Jespersen is now putting the frightness a little bit on Jürgen Schober for that race lead and obviously that race win. We should do everything to help his confidence at this point in the weekend. So, final lap underway for the pre-final for Prix 89. And Jürgen Schober ahead of Tommy Jespersen. The gap is 6/10. But Jespersen could throw a surprise, could throw a fly in the ointment, so to speak. As they head into the banked right-hander here at turn 3 for what is going to be the final time. Into the next left. Through the infield section to get them onto the second half of the circuit here at Voyens. But it could come down to the wire. I probably don't think it will do, to be honest, because Schober and Jespersen have had to battle through back marker traffic. But the checkered flag this time around will come out and it will wave for another race, well, one of the previous race winners. Heat 1, it was Jaap van Handel. Heat 2, Thomas Krantz. The pre-final, however, goes to Jürgen Schober from Germany. Tommy Jespersen takes second. Thomas Franz takes third. So what a dramatic pre-final for Prix 89 as the last few runners and riders come across the line, one of which will be the 102. That's Thomas Kracht, but Jürgen Schober wins by 9/10 of a second ahead of Tommy Jespersen. Heinz Gockel, Thomas Franz, Thomas Kracht. There is Michael Weinreich in the number 2. So Peter Lieros, we're also waiting for another couple of drivers, Berthold Bermel and Guy Lagarde, who are due to finish 8th and 9th, with Juverding Nielsen finishing on lap 8. Jan van Handel after that contact through Thomas Frans out on lap 7. Christian Helmut Pedersen, Hans Hansen, Olli Ollesen, Kjell Christiansen, Jean-Marc Malisieux and Torben Lausen round out the finishing order for the Prix 89 pre-final. Next up is the pre-final for Prix 95.